I want to start today by asking you to think about the last time that you were afraid. Now, I'm not talking about physical fear, that bear in the woods kind of afraid. I'm talking about the fear that shows up when you're about to do something that matters, the kind that creeps in before a big run or a high stakes moment, or before you try something that you really want but aren't quite sure you can pull it off. So first, just recall the situation that brought about the fear. Then I'm going to have you dig a little deeper and think about what it is specifically that you were afraid of. Because I think if most of us are honest, the answer isn't the mistake or failure itself. The answer is what that means about us. So that's why this week we're going deep on fear, and specifically the fear of failure, where it comes from, what it does to our performance, what the research says, what scripture says, and most importantly, what can we actually do about it? Now, some of you who've been listening for a while will remember that we've talked about fear before. We talked about the FEAR acronym. So FEAR being Fantasized Experience Appearing Real. And I want to come back to that today because I think it's the perfect starting point for this week. Fear of failure is almost never about the actual event. It's about the story we're telling ourselves about what that event will mean. So think about it this way. It's not missing the shot or making a costly mistake that terrifies us. It's what that says about us, what we think that says about us, that we're not good enough, that we don't belong here, that all the time and money and sacrifice we've poured into our sport was for nothing. That's the story. And that story, which, by the way, is completely made up in our own brain, is what produces the fear. So even though the event hasn't happened yet, and the failure we're dreading exists only in our mind, our nervous system doesn't know that. It responds to this vividly imagined disaster the same way it would respond to an actual one. So we're essentially scaring ourselves with our own thoughts and then wondering why we can't perform the way we want. So here's the distinction. This is the one that I really want you to grasp because I think it changes everything. There is a difference between fear and courage that most people have backwards. Most people think courage means not being afraid. It doesn't. We've talked about this before, that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to act in spite of it. So they are not opposites. Fear is the emotion, courage is the action. And that means every single time that you step into the arena, knowing you might fall short, or taking a chance at something when there's the possibility you won't be successful. In those events, you are already being courageous. So the fear doesn't disqualify you. The fear just confirms that what you're doing matters to you. And here's the critical thing. Fear of failure is not a character flaw. It's not a sign that you're weak or that you don't have what it takes. It's a completely normal, universal experience, and really every competitor at every level deals with it. The difference between the ones who let it stop them and the ones who don't is not the absence of fear. It's, again, what they do with it. Do they take action anyways? So this week, we're going to figure out what to do with it. So let's close today with our power statement for the week. I think you'll like this one. I feel the fear and take action anyway. Okay, I'll say it one more time so you can write it down. Remember it. I feel the fear and take action anyway. And then tomorrow, we're going to dig deeper into what happens when fear gets tangled up with your identity and why that combination is one of the most performance limiting things there is. So don't miss it.